Hello everyone, it's Margaret here with 60andMe. So I am recording this video at the end of August. You may not be watching it until September because I'm doing some videos in advance. I am moving, as you probably can see behind me. My shelves are almost completely empty. I've got just a couple of days left, and then I'm heading off to the UK. But I wanted to record this video a bit in advance so that you don't miss them. By the way, I do videos Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. So check us out. Click that subscription button on YouTube because then you'll know when new things are published. But we talk about all kinds of things, and the topic today is really about lifestyle, and it's a perfect topic for me right now because I am changing my lifestyle. I have lived in a studio apartment for about 5 years, one room, and I'm moving out now to go do some travel and do some exploring. And people have asked me kind of repeatedly, why are you doing this, Margaret? Why? What's the deal? And I have actually done some videos on this talking about it, but I want to just go over it one more time so that you know, kind of what's on my mind. And maybe a lot of you are feeling the same thing. I was actually overwhelmed by the number of comments that I got when I've done my videos on, countdown to moving and next step homelessness. And there's a couple of other videos. I'll put the links in this one so you can get a broader picture. But many people said, why are you doing this, Margaret? It just seems so odd to be going out into the world, not living in a house or an apartment that's stable. You're going to change places every 6 weeks or so. What's happening? And honestly, all that's happening is I just decided that my life, since the time I was a little girl, involved a lot of moving. My dad moved us around every year when I was between about 7 and 15. We moved all the time, every year. So I never really got roots like a lot of people. I didn't live in the same house when I was a child. I moved a lot. And I kind of, I had a lot of lessons and learning from that. But I think the most important thing was I always felt like I was a global citizen. I didn't feel like I had a place. I'm British. I was born in England. My home is London. I'm not saying that I don't, my heart home, I'm pointing to my heart home is London. But I don't feel like I have to be there all the time. And all my life has been travel. I don't know, I haven't done like 150 countries, but I've done a lot of travel, and I've visited a lot of countries in Asia, India, Singapore, Bali, Japan. I've lived in towns in Europe. I'm in Switzerland now, but I've traveled to Germany and Croatia. I've been to Italy and Germany. I've traveled a lot, and I love it. I think that comes out in my videos. I love travel. I love the people. I love the new places. I love getting off a train in a completely different place and just experimenting with. And of course, by the way, I've lived in Canada, I've been in the United States, I've been to Mexico, Central America, I've traveled to Brazil, I've lived in lots and traveled in lots of places. But the point of this conversation today is, how do you make lifestyle choices? So for me, the decision to go now to the UK for a month, back to Switzerland for maybe 5 or 6 months, and live in different places was one. First of all, I'm living in Baden, St. Gallen. I'll probably go to Lugano. And because I just get a thrill out of being in a new place, experimenting new rhythms, meeting new people. And I'm not afraid of living alone or living by myself or traveling solo. For some reason, I don't know why, I just get energized by it. I am an introvert. This is the truth. I don't go to big parties and hang out with tons of people. I'm actually an introvert. I like to be alone, but I also love being in groups that are doing things I love. And so I navigate myself, to those places. So for those of you who are asking why I'm doing this, I'm doing it because I enjoy life. I enjoy new things. I'm not planning to give up on the world. I'm not saying goodbye to anyone. It's not like the end of, I'm not winding down. I'm winding up. And I was so energized by a woman this morning that I heard talking. She was being interviewed, and she said, listen, when you get older, you got to go hard, not easy. And I thought, that's what I'm doing. I'm going hard. I'm going hard into new places. I've got all my, you can see my room is almost completely empty now. I've got nothing here except for my printer, my computer. I've got my furniture, like my sofa bed and other things that are being picked up in a few days. But go hard, and I'm going hard. And that's kind of the mission for me when it comes to understanding where I want to live. What is my legacy? What do I want to, people to remember me through? And it is this. And I'm so happy that I inspire women in our community to get out there. Do some travel, take some risks. There were a lot of people, I mean, I wouldn't say hundreds, but many who said, I wish I could do this. Well, you can. I know it's hard if you've not got the muscle or the skill or the experience. I know it's hard, but you can do it if you want to. Try small. Do like a practice run. Take a month and just do something for a month or so that you weren't planning to do. Leave your little house if you can afford it, of course, or volunteer if you can't. But it's possible. So the reason I'm doing it is for fun, enjoyment, creativity, curiosity, and just a thrill for trying something new. There's no hidden agenda. I'm not sick. I'm not doing anything that's, trying to wind down my life. I'm actually doing it because I'm looking forward to expanding my life. And I just am looking forward to it. Who knows? I may get to Baden in October and think, oh, this is terrible. I really want to be with my family and, quickly change my route. That's the freedom of doing something like this. And I really, really love it. So when you're thinking about your lifestyle, where you want to live, what kind of community you want to be in, I think you've got to kind of look, first of all, at what your day-to-day life looks like. I mean, if you don't like travel, and a lot of people don't, then, you get the question of, should I rent? Should I own? Should I have a flexible month-to-month living, or should I be grounded in a permanent location? You've got to decide what your lifestyle choice is. That's the first thing that you have to do. And if your style is not to be on the road, or not to, to have everything around you, all your travel or collectibles, all your stuff, then that's your lifestyle to stay where you are. Then you rent or own, and that's kind of your choice. You could decide that small house, big house, but your lifestyle is that in your heart, how you feel comfortable. The next thing is actually your community need. Do you need to feel that you're part of a group, that you meet every Wednesday for lunch, or you meet every Friday, or you go to this cafe on a Sunday? You've got to have in your mind, do you want to live close to family? Do you want to live close to friends? Kind of what is your choice in terms of community connections? That's the second thing to think about after your actual lifestyle. Then there's the practical considerations. There's the cost of living. Like, where can you afford to live? Can you move around like me and still get good health care? I mean, I'm in a very fortunate situation in Switzerland, because and by the way, I will be using a Swiss address as my base. I mean, as for postal purposes and so on. And I will be there a lot with my family, with my I'll be popping in to see the grandkids all the time, regardless of where I'm staying. That's another one of my considerations. But whether you've got transportation, whether you need access to services and shops, kind of on an immediate basis. Like, could you live without a grocery store within a mile? That's the kind of the flexibility that you have to assess after you look at your lifestyle, your community needs, and then your practical considerations. Just maybe your lifestyle isn't to be walking 2 miles to a market. You want to have something across the street, or a cafe that's within a 2-minute walk. Really important that you have those practical considerations. Legacy. Well, you've got to think about, where you want to be that is going to make you feel relaxed, thoughtful. We're not getting any younger. That's the phrase, isn't it? You got to think about choosing a place that reflects your values. That's where you want to be as you perhaps start to think about, the end of your life as opposed to the beginning. A lot of women in our community now, 70, 80, 90. I mean, it'd be great if we all lived to 120, wouldn't it? But that's not probably the case. But, having these conversations with yourself about where you really want to be is important. So you can do all the other things that I talked about, but then you've got to, in your heart of hearts, feel at home. You got to feel at home. So what are you thinking? What is your ideal situation for living? I'm not saying for the rest of your life, but right now, what is your consideration and what have you chosen? Do you like being in your own home? Do you like having a community around you, or you're not that bothered by it? What's your style? And that's kind of for me the considerations that go into that question: where should I live now, as you're getting older? Hope this has been helpful. It helps me always to talk this through, but I hope it's also given you answers to your questions about, why is Margaret doing this? Why am I leaving my home and traveling around the country and the world? I hope I've made it clear that, you know, I'm just very positive about it. I'm scared. Yeah, I'm super scared. I'm super nervous. I'm not as brave as I sound. I have a lot of anxiety sometimes about, you know, what ifs. But hey, you got to just move forward. You got to try hard, not take it hard, and not take it easy. That's my motto. Okay, so take care, everybody. Have a wonderful day wherever you are. Thank you for your support here. Check out our other channels, our website. Lots of articles every day by our fabulous bloggers. We've got a website, Facebook, Instagram. I've got a new Instagram. It's called 60 and Me Official. It's our own 60 and Me Facebook or Instagram account. And of course, I'm on TikTok for those of you who want a curious take on what it's like to talk to younger people. But I appreciate you. I love you. And I'll see you again soon. Take care.